Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Burns?
Here.
Mr. Cook?
Here.
Mr. Adriano?
Here.
Mr. Griffin?
Here. That's a short roll call. Putnam County Transportation presentation has been postponed. So for any of you that were excited about learning the new bus routes, I humbly apologize, but that won't be decided until tomorrow when Ed meets with Vinnie Tamagna and makes sure it's all right. Without objection, I'd ask the clerk to file the reports as read. And we have a motion on the minutes, please.
I'll make a motion that the town board approve the minutes of June 11th, 2014. So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Order of the bills, please.
I'll make the motion that the town board approve abstract number 12, dated June 25th, 2014, in the amount of $311,353.42. So moved.
Second.
I have a roll call, please.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Mr. Cook?
Yes.
Mr. Adriano?
Yes.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes. Okay, I have two letters of resignation that I'm going to read into the record and make a motion that we accept. I hereby wish to submit my resignation from the town board effective July 6, 2014. I'd like to thank you for the appointment to Director of Codes. I truly have enjoyed the last 2.5 years, and I welcome the opportunity to be part of such a friendly and helpful department. And that's signed by Robert J. McCarthy. So at this time, I make a motion we accept Mr. McCarthy's resignation from the town board. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Second letter is, Dear Supervisor Griffin, Town Board members, and Mr. Williams, please accept this letter as my resignation from the town of Patterson effective July 11, 2014. This was not an easy decision to make. The past 9 years have been very rewarding. I've enjoyed working for the town alongside my fellow employees and serving the citizens of the town of Patterson. Thankful for the opportunity to have worked for the town, gaining valuable skills that I will take with me on my next endeavor, and that's signed by Michelle K. Lawler. She works in the planning department, so this time I'll make a motion that we accept Michelle's letter of resignation. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, town board vacancy. As you can see, Bob is no longer here. We had a letter request from a gentleman that I've known for many, many years, and I think he's an exceptional individual. He's chaired our planning board for I don't know how many decades now, but he has expressed a sincere interest in being brought onto the town board, and as part of the discussion tonight, I'm very comfortable with appointing Sean Rogan to the town board, and if there's any other discussion, I'll open it up.
Yeah, I mean, I know Sean, I know he would be a good addition to the town board, but it's my position that it's really not a good use of town funds to appoint a person for what's going to amount to a 4-month appointment, because there'll be an election in November. We function as a board very effectively for, I guess, 9 months without Ginny, and I really don't think there's any reason to appoint someone for 4 months. It's an elected position, and I think the people of Patterson should elect that individual. So I would oppose appointing anyone at this time. So.
Charlie, you got any thoughts on the matter?
No. I mean, I feel the same way about Sean. I've known him for a number of years, serving with him on the planning board. I have no trouble, having him join us. I think that the point Kevin brings up is a good one. I honestly did not realize until today that there would be an election come this November. I thought that we would appoint to fill the unexpired term of Bob. So that's how politically savvy I am. But I could really go either way. Waiting the 4 months is not is not a deal breaker. Having him join us, for the 4 months or more, I'm good with it. How's that political answer?
That's political as you can get. I feel strongly both ways. I like that.
I feel strongly one way. I know Sean very well. I've worked on several of the boards with him, safety board and some other projects with him. I think he'd be an excellent addition to our board. I don't think we'd be saving a whole lot of money by keeping it empty. I think a full board is most productive, especially with the summer months coming up and
Budget.
The budget's coming up and vacations, and I think it would be wise if we appointed someone right now. I know last year we went a whole year without a board member. When I wasn't on the board, I feel that was a mistake. I think if I was on the board at that time, I would have chose to fill that spot.
Well, we took a lot of flack both ways, so. Then at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Sean Rogan to the town board for, till such time as the election can be held and a candidate can be elected by the people of the town of Patterson, so moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Okay. Take your seat. Antoinette, you need to get Mr. Rogan an oath of office. He signed one for the planning board, but you'll now have to sign one for the town board. Sure.
Yes.
Up here? No, this is your microphone now. Yes.
Shift down.
No.
Give the honor of the-
No, Pete hasn't
Welcome,
fallen
Sean.
off the end yet, so we're confident that, welcome aboard.
I want to say that I appreciate the support that I've always received as the planning board chairman from this board over the years. It's always been unanimous support, and I understand everybody's point, and I will do my best to do the job in the way that I know how, in the way that I've done my job for the planning board. And that's, in essence, making sure that integrity, honesty, and respect for everyone is always a priority. That's something that I've always taken as a #1 priority on the planning board. And anyone that knows the way that I've run the planning board knows that that's the way we do business, and that it really doesn't matter politics. This is about serving the residents of Patterson in the best way possible. So I appreciate everyone's support, and I will do my best to make you all proud. Thank you.
Okay.
Do we have to get him to resign first?
Letter of resignation?
Hello, how are you? Thank you.
Can we appoint him, can he serve on 2 boards?
Can I read a letter of resignation?
Well, I can give you a verbal resignation.
You can do a verbal resignation. I don't think you should vote on any matters before the board until you take your oath of office,
Okay.
which can be administered tonight. We don't have the exact verbiage that each of you...
Oh, sure we do.
Oh, no, then that should be done before voting on anything.
All right.
So,
Well-
that's great.
Well, then
If you have it, then read away.
my verbal resignation
I don't-
that I could read in if you'd like.
Okay.
Would that be acceptable?
Yes.
Oh, sure. it would.
Okay. What I would say to the town board and to Mike is that it has been a distinct honor to serve the residents of Patterson over the last almost 13 years in my position on the planning board. I've enjoyed every moment of it, and I've enjoyed building a team that focused on, again, respecting applicants and the public, making sure that everyone is part of the process.
I'll just show you how Bob's letter went.
And
2 sentences.
thank you for the opportunity to serve as your planning board chairman for the last 7 years.
And you hereby resign, right?
And I hereby resign.
Stand up.
We have to accept,
Raise your right hand.
don't we have to accept that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Who's running
I,
this
please
town?
state your name.
I, Sean Rogan,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will uphold the Constitution of the United States,
I will uphold the Constitution of the
the
United States,
Constitution of the State of New York,
Constitution of the State of New York,
the rules, regulations, and the personnel policy of the town of Patterson,
the rules, regulations, and the personnel policy of the town of Patterson,
and I will faithfully execute
and I will faithfully execute
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. I would just like to thank both fire departments. I've had 22 years of practice swearing in the officers and what, so I've taken the trouble to commit it to memory. I'm not sure I could unremember it, but thank you. Executive session, I'm going to defer that to the end of the meeting. It's a number of personnel issues that we have to consider. We have a union grievance to consider. and also the question regarding the ethics law that the union has raised an issue to as well. So I'll defer that to the end of the meeting. Kevin, you're up.
First item on my agenda is approving a request from the Golden Age Seniors for a luncheon. It appears to just be a luncheon, no trip this time. It's catering by Soros, so I'll make a motion to approve that request as submitted. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Two
Uh,
yes.
I have a New York State Workday Resolution. Be it resolved that the Town of Patterson, location 30394, hereby establishes the following as standard workdays for elected and appointed officials, and will report the following days' work to New York State and local employees' retirement system based on timekeeping system records or the record of activities maintained and submitted by the officials to the clerk of this body. So I'll just make a motion to move the remainder of the resolution for the various officials, establishing workdays for various elected officials as submitted. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And I'll make a motion to,
I'm sorry, did you get the request from the Putnam Lake Park Advisory
yeah, I think
Board?
Pete's going to do it because he
Oh.
attended,
Okay,
since he
good.
attended the meeting and they
Well,
talked
I
to him.
didn't know, because usually that was your thing.
Maintenance guy?
No, this is...
Okay,
this
well,
is
I have
for
two to add, then I'll add two to the agenda. I make a motion to add two items to my agenda, one as budget requests and one as a request from the Putnam Lake Advisory Board. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to approve budget transfer request 24, which is a transfer of $1,540 from swim lessons to various payrolls and employee benefits. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I make a motion to, actually request from the Putnam Lake Park Board to approve instructor rates for swim lessons. We're going to approve a water safety instructor, certified instructor for $15 an hour starting June 30th of 2014, and an assistant instructor on staff lifeguard 2014 rate. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good.
Is that all she needs? She doesn't need the name. Right? Okay.
Okay. Pete, can you do all this in one sitting?
First item on my agenda, I have a memo from Frank Farrell, the administrator for the garbage and recycling. He would like to add 2 part-time employees, Sean Driscoll and Jared Tyre, to the standby list for if they need people that have a call-in sick or injured or vacation. So they can make a motion to appoint Sean Driscoll and Jared Tyre. So moved.
Second? Is there a second?
Second. And I have a question that just,
Okay.
Sue, you have all the paperwork? Okay.
Okay, motion been made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good.
I'd like to make a motion to add 1 item to my agenda.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'd like to make a motion. I have a letter from Hank Earl from the Putnam Lake Park District. The maintenance person has resigned a week or so ago, and they're looking to replace that person. They've done some interviews, and they have a person they'd like to hire, Gerald Doyle. They also would like to add some alternates, just in case it doesn't work out with Gerald, or if they need to do some extra maintenance or cover vacations or whatever. They like a cache of people to pick from. So they also would like us to approve. Now I know some discussion. They wanted they wanted 4 people. Was it 4 people, Hank?
Yeah.
They wanted to add 4 people to the list. I know there was some discussion amongst the other councilmen that might be too much. Maybe if we appoint 1 person to replace the person that resigned right now, and then maybe add 1 or 2 alternates at this time.
Yeah,
Any
and
discussion?
one of the concerns also that was brought up is one of the applicants is not 18 years old yet. And being that the maintenance is going to be operating vehicle, operating equipment, et cetera, that there was some question as to whether we wanted to consider that individual or wait till, I guess September is his birthday, he'll be 18 in September.
I think he was gonna. You were planning on using that person for other duties besides heavy machinery.
Hey, if you don't mind.
Seeing that we lost a month and a half of maintenance people this year, we started late and then he left early. We're thinking maybe we could use maybe some of the kids to help our maintenance man. Now, we have a couple of projects that could use 2 people, so he wouldn't work by himself. He would work with another person. So to be, he'd be a helper
Okay.
to help do. He'd be doing the same tasks as the maintenance person now, and that's only if we need him. It was
Okay.
just trying to do something.
Just, I would ask you to keep in mind that the paperwork for employees is mountainous. It's voluminous. There's a lot of it, so it's, hopefully you pick a couple of people or 3 people that are
Yeah.
reliable.
I talked to Sue, and we're gonna pick two
Okay.
alternates, but we bring everybody to the table right now, because we're moving a little
Okay.
fast, and, we didn't really have enough time
Do
to really
you,
go through it.
who are you recommending for your alternates?
Well, Matt mentioned, and probably David Colucci.
Okay.
And are they alternates for the maintenance person or helper?
The maintenance person, they are both,
Okay.
people who wanted the maintenance position.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So at this time, I'd like to make a motion to hire Gerald Doyle as the full-time maintenance person at $18 per hour, and David Colucci and Matthew Mention as alternates. So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Well, the motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Anything else, Pete?
That's it. I just have one announcement I'd like to add. Let's say it now. Tomorrow night, the Putnam Lake Fire Department, 7 o'clock, we're doing a neighborhood watch meeting, crime prevention meeting, so all is welcome.
Okay.
There were some burglaries in Putnam Lake in the recent months, and they actually, I put a notice out to a lot of people already. I think I notified the advisory board that the person was apprehended by the NYPD and Sheriff's Office that was doing all the burglaries.
Charles,
Okay. I don't know if I can handle all this.
give it your best effort.
Town Board received a request relative to a transition schedule in the Code Enforcement Department, Building Department. And I spoke to Bob McCarthy today, and he just said, it came from Dave Raines, who was the interim person there for about a week. And Bob said he'd withdraw this memo, and that any transition request would come from him, and he would determine at what date. So there's no action needed to be taken on that memo.
Do you want to add Boniello to your agenda? Are you comfortable with that?
I'm not really sure what I should say.
Okay, then I'll take care of it under other business.
Apparently there's this emergency repair.
Yeah, you
What is,
aware of what that's all about?
I don't know, but is this for this building?
Yes,
Yeah.
we
Oh, yeah.
had a problem with the fire panel,
Right, okay.
and we had it serviced, and the service guy said the software and it's outdated, it's 10 years old, blah, 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 or 12 years old, so.
Right.
To repair it, upgrade it, and everything else was that number there, that if you want to make a motion on that, that'd be
Right,
fine.
right. Actually, I was in the office when Dave came running in to reset this or what have you. So I will make a motion that the town board approve the payment to Red Hawk Fire and Security in an amount not to exceed $3,996 to repair to replace, the power supply and remote annunciator and reprogram system at Town Hall. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. You want to quiz the attorney on?
I do. Sir.
It's going to be a quiz, pop quiz.
Last meeting, we had one of our residents speak to the issue about this barbecue place over at Putnam Lake. And Mike Legori said that he would be reviewing the code, be talking to Rich Williams, Bob McCarthy, relative if there's something that can be done to limit this, these issues from the standpoint of smoke, noise, etc., coming from this establishment and troubling the immediate neighbors.
Under our existing code.
So I don't know if you have anything you can add to that?
I don't have anything to add other than there is none.
Okay.
Where it's a, there's nothing in the code that speaks specifically to it. There is a town code provision that I looked at. I'll back up. Basically, it appears that it's in the nature of a private nuisance, that actions can be taken against that person under tort law, common law concepts of nuisance, but it does not appear that we can do so under the code. So we are in basic agreement with Nick Lamberti's memo that he had sent. One of the things that I did not, in my review of it today, that I did not know if it was analyzed was there is a separate town code provision on nuisances where but it appears that that provision can only be utilized where there is an underlying violation of law to try to abate, because the term nuisance in the code provision is defined very specifically, and it would cover a situation, in fact, it's specifically listed there, if a house was being used as a marijuana grow house, that would be a nuisance that the town could come in and enforce through the town code. There's one section that I believe it would be a bit of a stretch to include this activity under. So I don't think that we do have the ability to enforce it under the code.
Okay. So basically what you're saying is that the individuals who are affected should,
Well, the individuals who are affected have recourse, but it's a private recourse that they would have to, in
Through the
theory,
courts.
hire an attorney and analyze the facts and see if it rises to a level that would make it economically worthwhile to
Right.
pursue. I think it was Kevin who just mentioned that's under our current code, might be something that the board might want to consider to take a look at to see if the nuisance code that is on our books might be expanded, or if other general standards for non-residential uses could be looked at in the code to see if this type of thing could be included. But again, it's something that should be analyzed if the board feels that it's necessary to pursue it. And that's also in addition to any potential settlement of this that might come about if there's nothing that prevents the town from exercising its good offices to see if a settlement could be brokered in some way.
What are the pros and cons of, like if you said, for instance, something in the code that said if there's something that exists as a private nuisance, the town may act to abate it as a general, there seems to be some pros and cons in doing that, because then we end up, the enforcement ends up in our
Yeah,
hands.
and
That, every TV that's too loud, every, blah, blah, blah,
Sure. So it may well be that you don't want to
Right.
expand the definition of nuisance, because what would probably occur is we'd end up with some subjective standards that now puts it into the building inspector's hands to enforce subjectively, as opposed to having a strict standard.
Right.
So and I haven't worked with them very much. Sean's probably much more familiar than I am, but a zoning code could include standards, performance standards that have to be met as part of a site plan approval process. But typically there would be ones that would have some definitiveness, a noise control provision that might say noise cannot exceed a certain decibel level at the property line, things like that. So I think it would be a difficult thing to legislate for, to simply say, this is we're going to consider these things a nuisance, or we're going to have our building inspector or potentially our zoning board of appeals issue an interpretation as to whether or not a nuisance occurs. So it may very well be that it might not be advisable for the board to do it.
If changes could be made to the code, could it apply to this business that's existing?
No.
To make a code provision retroactive to affect existing businesses there are ways of doing it, but typically, I don't know if this situation is the type that would warrant that type of kind of unusual or zoning provisions. A town would have the ability to legislate through its zoning ordinance an amortization period for uses that it might consider to be detrimental to the public health, safety, and welfare. Again, by way of an example, an existing automobile junkyard. It might be a pre-existing non-conforming use, or it might be a permitted use in a particular district. If it's a permitted use in the district, you can eliminate it, and you can also take steps to say, not only are we going to zone the property so that that's not permitted, we're going to actually say that within a 5, 10, 15-year period, that use has to cease. Typically, it's referred to as an amortization period. It allows the landowner to reap a reasonable return on an investment, but then has the ultimate goal of eliminating a use that the town does not feel is appropriate for a district. So whether this state of facts warrants that type of a zoning code process and review is something to be determined. But again, looking at these standards that have to be met in connection with site plan approval and potentially ensuring that the current levels are not exceeded is something that would be within your authority.
I think this is tricky because it's smoke and some noise, you know. Mainly what we heard was the smoke conditions.
It doesn't appear to us that there's been any unreasonable expansion or alteration of the pre-existing use that's there. I mean, it's something that, I mean, it's between a rock and a hard spot, I guess, in some respects. It is a restaurant, and it is a method of cooking, and it just so happens that it's an issue that we simply don't have the authority to effectively regulate under the code.
Okay.
Question I have is, I believe Mike Ligori and Bob McCarthy had said that they were going to review also the property maintenance code, state of New York. So not just the town's laws, but also laws that they have available, just like uniform building code, that would allow a review of this. And I don't know if that was done.
Yeah, I don't know if Mike and Bob have coordinated on that.
Okay.
I know they have considered the way the equipment is being maintained, and I think there actually was an allegation that there was cleaning of some of the units, the exhaust units, that was occurring on the site, and that and my understanding is that Bob advised the landowner that that was not permissible, or it may also be that it's a health code matter that was referred to the health department, but I'm not 100% sure on how that was handled. So.
Also, our fire inspector, Dave Rains, had mentioned that he has been going out there routinely to observe if there are any problems and speaking with the owner about things that might be done to the ventilation system to maybe remove some of the particulates. I think he mentioned charcoal scrubbers that could be added, but of course the cost involved is the issue that he saw as the problem. But I wonder within our code, Rich and I have spoken about this a bit, the failure within our code were that there were no triggers that brought this to the planning board other than for a sign application. There was review within the building department for the ventilation system just to upgrade to fire standards. So there was work done to the ventilation system in that regard. What I wonder is that even though a building or a business is, when it's reviewed by the town, it goes in and initially there are no problems, there may be things that come up that were not considered. You know, for instance, now all of a sudden maybe there's a problem with particulate matter, with smoke going off-site, or noise because of the Ansel system running all night long, which is what they've claimed, the complainants have claimed. So I wonder if that would be a trigger mechanism that says, while there may not have been issues that were perceived initially with the application to the town for the change of this from one restaurant to another. Are there triggers that could be generated, or are there things that could address this? That could
Yeah, not
allow the town to take an action?
in this particular case or in general?
No, using this as the example.
Was as an example, but typically the site plan, the conditions of site plan approval for a commercial use would be the first place to start. Those conditions would supplement the general standards and special standards that the code would have for a particular use. So taking a look at how the code sets those standards, and then so maybe a review of those general standards that are in the code, special standards that apply to particular uses, and then potentially taking a look at the resolutions of approval to see what conditions could go in. I simply haven't done enough work with the planning board to be familiar with all of those, but things like time limitations, things like periodic inspections to ensure that certain performance levels are being maintained. I believe those safeguards are probably already built into the planning board's routine practices, but it's potentially that this is a restaurant use that's been there for a while and may not have had that. So I don't know how. I don't know. I guess we could take a look at the underlying approvals to see if there's anything that we could use in this particular case.
So we've got some work to do yet.
Yes.
All right, Charlie, you got anything else?
I'll make one announcement here that Sunday, July 13th, 2014, is Child Safety Day over at the Putnam Lake Veterans of Foreign Wars site, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. There'll be child fingerprint ID cards, car seat checks, police canine demos, fire truck display, ambulance display, and this is all being put on by the Patterson Chamber of Commerce. So again, next Sunday, July 13th, 12 to 3 at the Putnam Lake Veterans of Foreign Wars site.
Okay, Kevin, you have anything for other business?
Nope.
Steve?
Good.
Couple of quick things. Actually, just to jump back to the letter that
No, we're not going back there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back.
No, we can't go back there.
The letter we
always go
received.
forward.
The letter we received from Ella Gallo, which is about the barbecue situation. I know the initial letter that we received, because we were copied at actually I think the original letter went to the planning board. We typically send all letters that are received in the planning board, we send a correspondence that acknowledges receipt of the letter and recommend people come to the meetings and check the town website to stay informed about the progress on certain things. In this case, this lady says that she is elderly and has some health issues, and in essence, I wonder if it's possible for the town to just send her a follow-up or contact her and let her know what the status is on this.
Sure, anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. We can do that.
Okay. Can I do 2 announcements?
Okay.
All right. I'll be brief. The first announcement is that we have a letter from Senator Ball's office, which is speaking about the 4th Annual Veterans Hall of Fame celebration, which is scheduled for Thursday, October 30th at the Mahopac Falls Elementary School. The idea here is to nominate a local veteran. They want to acknowledge a veteran from Dutchess, Putnam, and Westchester County. If you know of a veteran that you would like to honor with this recognition, the requirements are to attach a nomination form, biography of approximately 250 words and a high-resolution photograph, and contact Marianne Galapani, the Director of District Programs at the Senator's office, and her phone number is 845-279-3773. So hopefully someone within the community will know a deserving veteran, and I think this is a great honor that they do this. And the other item, I don't have anything written on, but this Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon in Cold Spring, the health department has a free rabies clinic where you can, I think it had been announced, you might have done it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And just a reminder, since it's this weekend, you can go to the Putnam County Health Department website for information, but it is a free rabies clinic. You can bring your dogs, cats, and ferrets to be vaccinated. You just need to bring a prior vaccination certificate. Thank you.
That's it?
That's it.
That's all you got?
That's it.
Okay. We got a email from the town attorney, basically telling us that Mr. Boniello has not been keeping up with his payments. However, there's only a couple of options. The town attorney at this point has asked us to not exercise the option of going after his escrow account just yet. So we're going to respect the attorney's request, but we're also going to respect the town planner's request that the town board make a motion to put Mr. Boniello's current, he's got applications in front of the zoning board and the planning board, I believe. So
I've asked you to freeze his applications at least, so as they can't go forward until we resolve some of these issues. I absolutely agree with Mr. Legori that, you know, we want to keep the escrow account as is and not use it for other purposes.
all right, so Counselor, at this time, I can make a motion that we, based on the input of the town attorney and the town planner, that we freeze Mr. Boniello's applications before the zoning and planning board. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now we're to our favorite part of the evening, public recognition. Does any member of the public wish to be recognized at this time? No, member of the public.
I understand that, but you didn't take care of this during the meeting, so
Uh-oh.
I'd like to congratulate Mr. Rogan to his appointment to the town board. I've worked with Mr. Rogan for many years now and think you made a wonderful choice here. However, you've left me, or us, with a bit of a dilemma here. I no longer have a planning board chairman. And I do have a meeting coming up, and we do have some things that I need to discuss with with a planning board chair, and I was wondering...
You have a vice chair,
We do have a vice chair. but
and now he automatically becomes the chairman.
He does not automatically become the chairman. The town board has to appoint a chairman.
Okay.
And I would like to recommend Mr. McNulty. He has chaired a few meetings. He's done an excellent job chairing those meetings. And
Would you like to make that your first motion?
I would love to make that my first motion. I'll make a motion in this matter that we appoint Tom McNulty as the planning board chairman.
Second?
So moved.
Fill out the unexpired term of Mr. Rogan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? What else can we do for you tonight, young man?
I was wondering if you plan on advertising to fill the position on the planning board now.
Well, that was actually Sean's next motion.
Okay. We were just going to talk about that.
Vice chairman,
Well, that's Mr. McNulty appoints the vice chairman.
the planning, the chairman.
That's correct. Yeah.
Great.
So,
So I would like to make a motion that the town advertise for the position of planning board
Okay.
to fill a vacancy.
all right.
Discussion? I know
Well,
we...
is that a second for discussion?
Sure, second is for discussion. I know we interviewed a bunch of candidates for zoning board, planning board, and what have you, at the beginning of this year, or before we appointed, or actually at the end of last year for appointment. Before we go through and advertise again, it seems to me maybe we should reach into our file, pull those out, and see if those people are still interested, then starting the process from ground zero. It would probably be a lot more expeditious.
Who, did we hire, not hire, did
We
we appoint
appoint.
someone from that?
Yeah, we did.
Who was that?
Off the top of my head, I
Is
don't
it,
remember.
Mike, yeah, it's just,
Karina?
The gentleman to the zoning board.
to the zoning board, Mike
Right.
Charlotti,
Right.
huh?
Karina.
Karina.
Like Karina.
I know it started with
I mean, I
C.
don't oppose advertising it for it, I'm just thinking if we want to expedite trying to get an appointment, maybe we can look and see if we can agree on someone who we interviewed.
We can expedite or we can try and get it right. I mean, it's one or the other, but I would.
agree. I think
Well,
we should look.
I think that Kevin makes a very good point. Last meeting, we said we were gonna advertise for zoning, but we didn't put in a cutoff date. I would recommend that, agree with Kevin that, at some point we have to say, all right, we'll accept. I mean, Antoinette, how soon can you get this advertised? So 2 weeks from the time you run the ad, go 2 weeks out or 3 weeks out and say letters will be accepted till such and such a date, second week in August or something. And then after that, we close the process.
We can't get it in until next Thursday.
Okay, so Thursday, that would be, still gives you half. So how about the middle of August?
Okay.
Well, we only have one meeting in August, so that,
Yeah, but
Can we
we
interview and
probably, and then
appoint
we'll
by the
do, we
13th?
can do interviews in September, and we have,
okay.
oh, this, I, yeah, and I think that gets us
All
going.
right.
Well, let's ask for all interested parties to come in by, send their
Well,
letters of interest in by August 12th. And then we'll know when we meet in August who's interested, if there's anybody new.
Okay,
And then we take the old, the new, and
go from there.
decide.
Okay. Geez, I love it when we make decisions. Shows real leadership. Mr. Major?
Good evening, Bruce Major,
I thought-
Somerset
I'm
Drive.
I'm sorry, pardon me. Motion been made second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay.
Please
I just have a
proceed.
couple of things. One, I'd like to know if a letter went out in reference to the use of general funds for district use.
Yes, the town attorney has opined on that, and I will allow him to speak authoritatively on the matter.
Yeah, first, Bruce, a letter did not go out to the Department of Audit and Control because they are no longer in the business of issuing formal opinions. They've opted for frequently asked questions, responses on these issues, but we did have the opportunity to research the Attorney General opinions that you had provided and talk extensively to a gentleman by the name of Mitch Morris, who is the point person at Audit and Control. It appears that, and we have not rendered a formal opinion yet to the board, and the board has not considered or acted upon one of the issues that's involved. But it does appear that the expenses for the maintenance of the lake are clearly district expenses and not town expenses. The dam is another story. Because of the benefit that's provided, and this is the issue that has not really been yet decided, and I have not had the opportunity to consult with the board and get their views on this. But the dam could clearly be treated differently because the dam prevents flooding and other potential liability to the town at large. So it benefits more than just the residents of the district who are the ones who have the right to use the lake. So we haven't had this funneled down into an actual formal opinion yet, but we've reported those findings to the board, and in all likelihood within the next 2 meetings or so, we'll probably be in a position to take some formal opinion on it.
Well, that'll be fine. I just think it had to be addressed because
Yep, it's been-
you had early opinions that suggested otherwise.
Right, we did, and also it wanted to make sure that Audit and Control did not have anything on its books, and that was, we were able to determine that from our discussions with Mr. Morris and our own independent research.
Great, fine.
Okay.
As it relates to the environmental park, if you remember 2 meetings ago, you were talking about the environmental park and the usage and fees, and we don't have fees. And I had suggested that with so much land being put into nonprofits and the loss of the tax base, I asked whether you would consider transferring that property to state DEC, because state DEC at least then pays real estate taxes both to the schools and to the town. Mike, you indicated that you were going to look into that, and you don't have to address it tonight. I just hope that you are looking into it. The other issue I'd like to raise is that when nonprofits are using sewer districts or water districts, I think they have to pay for those sewer districts or water districts. Can the town require nonprofits to also provide money to fire districts? At the last meeting where you approved one of the contracts, you had to pull some additional funds. I think it was another $5,000 to add to one of the contracts because they were looking for more money. My question is this, can nonprofits be assessed for the use of fire districts?
Well, I know that in the past, we've been through this, that you can assess them like a garbage assessment if we pick up their garbage. So I'm going to have to defer to the attorney on the fire department aspect of it.
And the assessors.
Yeah, we can certainly look into it, but I know, if the group homes and things like that, if we pick up their garbage, we can send them garbage assessments, so that we can do.
Well, that's just my thought. I mean, we have lost a lot of land
Yeah.
over the last few years, And a lot of that vacant land, they may not be paying a lot of taxes, but the folks have to pick up the difference.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if, unfortunately, we don't have a master plan. I don't even know if the master plan can address the percentage of land that can be placed into nonprofit protection. I'm talking about lands
Yeah,
held by.
I'm not sure that we can really restrict that,
Well-
but certainly, you know, Counselor, you,
tell you that
I realize you probably can, so I
And
mean,
a
we need
significant-
some other type of funding sources.
I mean, besides Jehovah's, probably the other biggest landholder in the town. And unfortunately, the state does not pay taxes on their group homes. They do pay taxes on environmental lands. Unfortunately, they don't pay much in the way of taxes, and the bulk of it goes to the school.
But but we're all paying school taxes. So
Mhm.
even if they're paying school taxes and not giving anything to the town, it's still helping the folks.
All right, well, I'll get you some numbers on it, and then you can see how paltry the amount of money we're talking about is.
It's still better than zero. The
Okay, well-
environmental park costs us money right now.
Yeah, but it also gives us certain options and, you know, the ability to access it and use it for, and have restrictions as to who, you know, who, when, where, and how. So, I mean, if we
But
can't-
but Mike, we haven't done that. Nor do we have a fee
No,
schedule for it.
we haven't, but we could. And we will probably, you know, since there is a rather substantial debate going on between the Codes Enforcement Department and the Environmental Parks Caretaking Department, where there's issues about
Well, one can understand he
signage
wants to
and-
keep his job and he's getting a
Well,
salary, so I
he-
understand that.
There's a philosophical difference of opinion that the board is gonna have to sort out, and I will be bringing that to the board's attention very soon.
That's great, thank you.
So, you're welcome. Anyone else, general public, public recognition? Anybody, somebody?
Thank Russ for clearing out the trees.
Thank Russ for, I mean, Russ and his crew do a great job every week, week in, week out. Did a nice job on Big Elm Road. Probably get 2 more years out of my truck now that you've paved that, thank you. Okay, well, there being no one else for public recognition, I'd like to thank the fire department for their report this month and delivering it to the
Get a
town
copy
clerk.
tomorrow?
Hmm?
You'll get a copy tomorrow?
I'm very excited about that.
I know.
so.
Bated breath.
No, I wouldn't go quite that far, but we got a lot of other issues to discuss, and that's why we're gonna go into executive session, and we'll see who comes out alive. Anyway, thank you all for coming. I'll accept a motion to go to an executive session at this
Motion to
time.
go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.